everybody, Yvonne from Images by Eves here with the fantastic Stephanie Say.
Hello.
From Stephanie Say Trichology and also the London Hair and Scalp Clinic. Just continuing my series on hair transition and hair education. And I thought I'd bring Stephanie into my studio bathroom because I still have lots of questions about taking care of your hair during the transitioning stage and thereafter. So Stephanie, tell me a bit about yourself, how you got into trichology.
So I studied trichology in 2011.
Oh, it's trichology, I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah, just a little bit. Everyone.
Trichology.
Yes.
What? It looks like a trichology.
Yeah, people say trichology, trichology. Doesn't really matter.
You're a hair doctor.
Yeah, hair expert, hair geek. That's what I call myself. So yeah, I studied trichology in 2011. My first degree is actually in law.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to go back to study trichology in 2011. It was primarily because I'd suffered from hair loss when I was 14.
Okay.
And, you know, my hair grew back and went. And, you know, I was in this kind of cycle of, there was an index event that caused my hair to go. And then after that, it was like abuse as well. So it was like...
Abuse on your hair?
Yes, abuse to my hair and my scalp. And it reached a point where I got tired. I was at a pivotal point in my life. It was like a big birthday, and I was like, what am I going to do?
Mm-hmm.
I need hair. I can't go throughout my life without, you know, sorting this
16,
out.
18th
Yeah.
birthday?
No, higher than that.
Oh, okay. So you're like, oh my gosh, I can't deal with this.
Yeah, I'm a big adult now. I can't deal with this. I need to sort it out. So I actually went to see the Battersea Scalp and Hair Clinic and with Keith Hobbs. He was the principal there at the time, and he helped me. You know, I'd already been reading about hair. You know, the YouTube thing had really exploded. So there was a lot of information on YouTube. There were a lot of books I found. But I was talking to Keith about my experiences, and he said, oh, you know, this is very like the module we have on Afro skin and hair, Afro hair. So, you know, and showed me the module and was like, oh, why don't you study it? And I thought, yeah, why don't I? So I did. It was a hard slog for 2 years. People say to me, oh, but it must have been easy. You studied law. It's not easy. It's really hard. And it was way harder than my law degree.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think so. Because I think, like, for me, I feel like law is reading and, you know, manipulating what you read to suit what you want to say.
But to get your point across.
Yes, that is what it is. But trichology is like, it was a right or wrong answer. I was studying maths, chemistry, microbiology, and it's a right or wrong answer. There's no kind of like squeezing the facts to suit how you want it to be.
Yeah.
It was right or wrong. So it was hard, and it was I came from the arts, this is science, so it was really, really tough. But I enjoyed it, and it's the time I felt happiest when I was doing clinical work or I was studying and learning about these things. It really made me happy. So that was the beginning of my journey. And the reason that I decided to, you know, financially struggle for 2 years and do this is because I wanted to help others who were in the same situation as me. I don't think people realise, you know, if you have hair, you take it for granted. If you lose it, it has a very big impact on your self-confidence. So, you know, it's very easy to think that, oh, it's just hair, but it really isn't.
No, it's far more than that, far more than that. And we'll go into that a little bit later on. You mentioned a moment ago about losing your hair and that you lost your hair due to abuse. So I'm going for a hair transition, as you know. I'm still trying to hold on to the ends of my hair, not very well, but because I'm getting a little bit of shedding. But what would you recommend? Because you said that you lost your hair due to hair abuse. What would you recommend for people that are transitioning, and also how people kind of like abuse their hair and how that causes hair loss as well? Okay.
So there were two, I could kind of layer it. At the time there were three things. So I relaxed my hair at 14 and it came out.
Okay.
I think that the relax actually changed the wrong colour, and we could still put it in the hair, and the hair
so it was an old relaxer?
Yeah, I think so, and it started coming out. I mean, as far as we were concerned, we bought a new relaxer. I mean, I was young. It happened, a relaxer when I was 13, around 14 it was coming out. So that was the first thing. And then I after that, I also suffer with a condition called Trichotillomania, which I end up pulling out my own hair as well.
Oh.
So that's quite a complex condition. I don't talk about it that often, but yeah. And then on top of that, I was abusing my hair. After that, after my hair grew back and I managed to get it to come back, I was abusing it through braids, weaves. I didn't actually relax my hair. I haven't relaxed my hair since I was 14. So it's been a long time since I relaxed it.
Because people actually say to you to help grow your hair when you're transitioning, put it in protective styles like braids and weaves and wigs, etc. So, but you're now saying that that's almost abuse on your hair. So where can we find the happy medium?
It depends on how you do it, really. So I think as Afro-Caribbean women, it's almost like it's ingrained in us that beauty is pain, and beauty isn't pain. It shouldn't hurt that much to have your hair braided.
Absolutely.
It shouldn't hurt that much to have your hair weaved. And I think that's the problem. There's no problem with doing the hair. So I was weaving it consistently, tight weaves consistently. I was braiding it consistently.
Were you pulled back? Did
yes.
You have
the Croydon facelift.
Just
like this. You know, I'm allowed to say that because I'm from Croydon. Those are some of the things. And then the other thing I was doing was I was burning my hair all the time. So I was pressing it. I press it once a month, and then I had the paddle GHDs.
Okay.
And I know I burnt my hair at least once a day, trying to get it super straight, you know, because my hair wasn't actually relaxed. I was just trying to wear it straight. And all these things had an adverse effect, you know, and especially the weaving. I remember when I weaved my hair once, and I didn't have any hair left around the edges.
Wow.
And my hairdresser was like, you know what, if this little bit of hair here goes, I'm not going to be able to cover the front anymore. And I was like, oh my God.
What am I going to do?
And that was part of what spurred me on to say, actually, I need to change things, because I can't wear a weave all the time. What happens if you're going out with someone, what you take off the weave and, you know, half the hair is missing? That's a difficult conversation to have. So I was like, I need to sort this out. So in answer to your question, wigs, weaves, braids can aid the hair growth journey, but it's how you do it. And this is what I always say: if you're doing braids so tight you can't sleep, or you have to take paracetamol, it's not good. If you're, think about it, you do really tight braids as the base of your weave, then someone gets a needle and thread and then pulls it really hard, and you feel that first one, you feel the tug, because the cornrows suddenly all move, and you kind of like sit up to attention. So that's not good for the hair, putting that much tension. Braiding your hair with buckets of extension hair is also not good. Like, I see some girls and their braids are so heavy, I'm sure they have to do this. You know, their head is like, you know, I have to
like this.
Yeah, I have to keep my head up. You know, and I'm just like, that's too much hair. Imagine one fine hair in a thing, and then you've put like hundreds of like tiny pieces of hair onto this, and it's hanging off this bit of hair. It's not good. It's going to rip your hair out. And when you keep doing that, your hair follicles get tired of what you're doing to it. So, you know, and wigs as well, they're fine, but, you know, the glue, I know a lot of girls don't do the glue anymore, but also wearing it here and then it rubbing. Just if you think about the rubbing.
It's actually rubbing your baby hair and your new growth out.
It's rubbing it away. And like, I had a point where there was a wig I used to wear sometimes, and I took it off one day and I saw my mum and I said, look, I've got a line of demarcation right here.
So this line of demarcation, did you have like hair here?
Yes.
And then a line?
Yes.
And with no hair?
Yes.
And then hair growing back?
Yes.
Ooh.
So you could actually see where
like
the wig
a hairband.
Yes.
You had a hairband of no hair.
Yes. You could see where the wig was sitting and rubbing.
Wow.
And I just went to stand and said, Mum, look, and she goes, there's a line in your head. And I'm like, exactly, that's what I wanted you to see. She's like, oh, it's a wig.
Basically, some of these things that we're using to improve our hair growth and to make ourselves feel more attractive are actually being counterproductive.
Yes. So it's really about how you do it. So like I use a wig band that I put on. If I ever want to wear a wig, I do put a band, a specialist band on, which stops that rubbing and that friction.
And can you get these hair bands in most hair and beauty
They're
supply
actually really
stores?
difficult to get.
Okay.
So there's something that I'll have as part of my,
and we'll, we can go into that in a little bit later. So protective styles can be good for your hair, they can be bad for your hair depending on how you apply them. So you can apply them at home, because I know hairdressers can sometimes be really, really expensive, but make sure you don't get, as Steph says, the Croydon facelift. We don't want any of that. So hair loss can be caused, as you said, due to various different things, but they can also be just your body's own way of asking for help, and there's various different types of hair loss. From what you've educated me so far, alopecia is a term used for hair loss, but there's various different types of alopecia. So tell me a little bit more about this.
Yeah, there are a number of conditions. They're like, you know, so many that I won't go into all of them. There are some, you know, alopecia, as Yvonne has said, is that it's a term that describes hair loss. It means hair loss. So you've got alopecia areata, you've got alopecia ophacic, alopecia. So you've got so many different types of alopecia. You've got scarring alopecias and non-scarring alopecias.
Oh, wow.
So there are the scarring ones usually mean that your hair's not going to come back, and the non-scarring ones mean that your hair can come back from that. Come back. You've also got things like you know, what we've talked about, mechanical damage, attraction alopecia, and that can sit into the scarring if you're not careful, if you keep on applying it, but it normally will grow back. So there's so many types of alopecia, and on top of that you've got conditions that can cause hair loss because maybe they're very itchy, or you know, the way the scalp is inflamed can cause hair loss. So,
and obviously can emotions cause, you know, we have an interview coming up, or it may have just been already, I'm not too sure what order I'm putting all of these in yet, so where somebody has suffered from stress alopecia. So that wasn't anything that she was physically doing to her hair, but her emotions were causing hair loss. Yeah,
I mean, it could be that with alopecia, there is an alopecia known as it's a hair loss, but it's called telogen effluvium. So it's a shedding. So your hair is shedding, and you typically, the best way to illustrate telogen effluvium is a pregnant woman who's just given birth. It's normally about 3-4 months after they've given birth. You'll notice that there's thinning to their edges or thinning throughout their hair. It's because the hair has suddenly gone into the shedding phase and is shedding more. And that can happen if you're under a lot of stress, if you're ill, if you have a cold, even you're having digestive problems. There's so many things that can cause a telogen effluvium. So someone will say, my hair is shedding more than usual, and this is different to breakage. You know, when people say to me, my hair is shedding, the first question I always ask them, I'm like, is it shedding or is it breaking?
Yeah.
Because there's a difference. Because shedding will be from the root, breaking will be, you know, midpoint of the hair.
Okay. So you can tell, ultimately you'll be able to tell if your hair is shedding or breaking, because obviously longer strands, if it's shedding, shorter strands because it's breaking halfway through, a bit like a midway point if it's
and also you'll see at the ends of a shed hair, you'll see like a white kind of bulb, so you'll know that that's hair root. And that root shows that it's come to the end of its life and it's come out. A healthy root from the anagen phase, when you pluck it, you will see it has sometimes has a jelly-like substance at the end, and it's soft to the touch. A shed hair which has come to the end of its hair growth cycle, you'll find that it's white at the tip, a bit hard, and you could probably pull it off and it's like a little nodule, and that's a shed hair. So you'll be able to tell the difference.
A certain amount of shedding hair is natural.
I mean,
it's just when it's excessive.
So between 50 and as much as 150, I call it between 50 and 100 a day. So, you know, like when people braid their hair, they're like, oh my god, my hair shed so much.
I've lost all my hair.
Well, no, actually it didn't. It was just the hair that couldn't drop out because it was in braid.
She had something covered up.
That's how locks are formed, because that's the shed hair caught into the hair and twisted, and so the shed hair doesn't come out. It's caught up, and that's how they get so long as well. Yeah.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about how can you treat hair conditions and hair loss.
So the first step always is not to ignore it. Get specialist help. If you've got a problem, if your edges are thinning, if you notice there's a problem with your scalp, if it's itching, or you feel burning sensations, you've got a very flaky scalp, all of those things, you notice a patch in your hair, get help. Again, I find that Afro-Caribbean women, we're scared to go and get help.
Are we ashamed that we're actually losing our hair because, for whatever reason, we may have admitted ourselves that we haven't been kind to our hair. Sometimes it may be the cost that you fear, but ultimately, would you rather save and have some hair or have none? Yeah,
and that's what I look at. Like, if I braid my hair, I typically leave the edges out and it's a little bit bushy. And people say to me, "Oh, don't you want to tidy it up?" I'm like, I'd rather have hair than be bald. So if it looks untidy to you now, that's fine. It doesn't look untidy to me.
So long-term edge control is not the one.
Yeah, I mean, edge control doesn't even work on me. Like, I literally...
Your edges are uncontrollable.
And the thing is that my hair is not like a very coarse, kinky texture. But when I put edge control on, half an hour later, it looks like
it's kind of
and then the hairs are just standing up like this. And I'm like, what happened here? It just looks like I oiled the sides of my face.
Did you get the crease?
Yeah, I just get this this slick thing. The only thing that's worked is a gel, and I don't really like gel. Like, it's just my personal preference. There's nothing against gel. I don't say to people don't use it, but I just don't like that hard feeling and that crunchy feeling. I just don't like it. So get help. That's the first thing I say. Don't be shy, because there are some conditions, especially some of the scarring alopecias, that if you get help, you can actually slow down the process.
That's fantastic. That's really good to hear.
You can slow down the process, because if you don't get the help and it gets to the point where you've lost most of the hair, in a scarring alopecia, you cannot get it back. And there are some scarring alopecias you can slow down the phase. There's one, it's a very long name, so I'm going to use the short form, follicular degeneration, which a lot of black women suffer from. They lose hair to this central part, and it thins out and thins out. Usually people will report burning and itching sensations in that area, and that can be slowed down. A biopsy can identify what it is and then slow it down. It doesn't always work, but at least you know what your prognosis is, rather than sitting there and then suddenly this whole bit is missing. You need to get the help. That's the first thing I would say. I would also look at your hair care practices. So if you know you're part of the cause of your hair problems, be kinder to your hair. That's one of the things I did to heal my hair back to health. I had to be kinder. And sometimes I still, even though I know better, I still fall into those dirty habits because they are deeply ingrained in us.
And we get lazy sometimes.
And we can't help it. We can't bother. We're like, oh, I can't bother to do this. I can't be bothered to do that. So everybody is human. No one is perfect. So even me who studied this knows the pitfalls and everything. I fall victim to it sometimes, and I'll look and I'm like, oh my goodness, my hairline's not looking quite right. Perhaps I braided that a bit too tight. So I normally braid my own hair. I think I was pulling it up into really tight hairstyles in the braids. Maybe I should loosen that down a bit. You have to think about it all the time. And the third thing I always say, and this is the one that kills people, is please wash your hair.
Wash it.
Just wash it. Don't be scared to wash your hair. That's the biggest thing.
I must say that I went through, this is the second time I'm going for a transition. First time was like 15 years ago. I was pregnant. I just did my thing. My hair was absolutely divine. I'm sure my son was giving me some extra nutrients, etc., etc. Then I just got tired. And I was just like, I can't be bothered. My wash day routine was just long. And I used to avoid washing my hair. And I ended up going to the hairdressers to get it washed. But I've now found out through my own hair education, my own hair journey, but they weren't always doing the best for my hair. So you need to also make sure that the salon that you're using, you have your own education, but the salon that you're going to is also willing to educate you and supporting you with your hair care routine. So wash it.
Yeah.
How often would you say? Is it individual, or would you say that there's a minimum?
I do think it's individual. I personally prefer to wash my hair every week.
Yeah, me too.
A week to 10 days.
And it doesn't take, now I know how to wash my hair, it does not take that long.
Section it, if you've got a lot of hair, section it into 4.
Yeah.
You know, detangle it with your fingers if you choose, with a comb if you like. Again, I'm not prescriptive about these things. It's really about personal preference. I like a comb through my hair. I can't help it. I've tried finger detangling. I do this and while I'm like, I get the comb through, I take the knots and I'm like, and I feel I feel it therapeutic.
Yeah.
Someone might disagree with me. That's fine. I accept that. But and it's all about how patient you are. I know when I get impatient and I'm using my fingers even, I'm like, oh, for goodness sake, stupid, not wear the scissors. You know, and I don't have that patience and love sometimes. So it's really up to you. Wash it once a week, once to every 10 days. Some people do it fortnightly, so they might co-wash once a week and then they wash it every other week. You know, find a way, but please do wash it, because I've seen people who said they haven't washed their hair for 6 months.
That's just nasty.
Yes, 6 months is a long time, and when you can smell everything the person's used in their hair, you know, it's not good. So, and this is how I illustrate it. I say we walk, so we sweat. We do activities and it all builds up in our scalp. We go outside in the bus.
Pollution, the bus goes past.
And then they over your hair, you know. You sat under a bush, you don't know whether there's a spider still in your hair from 3 days ago. Exactly, that's why I don't sit under trees. Like,
I run.
Yeah, you know, my friends would be like, you know, especially at work, they'll be like, let's have lunch, let's sit under the tree. And because they want the shade, and I'm not bothered about the shade, and they want the shade, and I'm thinking the bugs are going to drop in my hair, and I'm not going to find them until
you maybe... shake your hair and it falls out.
Exactly, or brush my hair and it comes up, because I'll leave my hair like this for maybe the week. So I don't want to find critters in my head dying a few months later. I want to be able to
haven't fed on the products.
Exactly. You know, those kind of things. So just if you think about all the things that, you know, dead skin cells that are lifting from your scalp, you're not getting rid of them by washing the hair. It's really important, because some of the conditions become like seborrheic dermatitis. It's the oils that it feeds on, the fungus feeds on in your scalp, and that's what causes the issue.
You really do need to make sure you wash your hair. I, like Stephanie, wash my hair once a week, and I use it as part of my self-care routine. It's like just an afternoon. It doesn't actually take me an afternoon. I just long it out. That I use just to do my thing, just to. You know, I basically say to everyone in the house, does anybody want to use the bathroom? Because I'm going in. And, you know, I'll be in the bathroom doing my thing, giving myself a spa treatment, washing my hair, and I come out and I'm like, I'm ready. And it may be on a Friday, it may be on a Saturday, it may be on a Sunday. It doesn't really matter. It depends what else. You know, I fit it around what I've got to do. But it's part of my self-care routine, and I feel really, really a lot better for it. Yeah. So there are your 3 tips. So shall we recap?
Yes.
Number 1.
Number 1, seek help.
Seek help.
Number 2, be kind.
Be kind to your hair. Even if you're just putting, weave styles, even if it's just the clip-ons that you use. Yeah. Be gentle as you're putting them in. Don't put in too much.
If it hurts, it's wrong.
We've been programmed, you're right. We've been programmed, because we remember sitting down, you know, to get our hair done, and it was, you know, did Mum do it on a Sunday? Yeah. Before school. It wasn't a nice experience. And then you get a comb on your head.
Yeah, the little comb. Shut up, sit down.
Sit down.
Yeah. It's.
We don't have to. We can be kind to our hair. We don't need to be rough with it. And number 3.
Number 3, please wash it.
Wash your hair.
Just wash it, you know.
And find a routine that actually suits you and your hair. Yeah. Whether it's washing with a shampoo every 2 weeks and co-washing in between, that's up to you. Yeah. Okay. So this is the end of part 1. We'll be back with part 2 later on in the week. If you have any questions, you can send them over to myself, and I'm sure Steph won't mind shouting out some of her social media handles. Yep.
So my email address is info@stephaniesay.co.uk, and my Facebook is SS Trichology.
So we'll see you on the next video. Bye.